Hi everybody, we're here today with Erin Hicks,
Hi.
who is a sober coach at our Discovery Transitions intensive outpatient facility in Los Angeles. And today we have a really interesting topic. We're going to be talking about step one of the 12 steps. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the 12 steps, the first step of the 12 steps is we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. So today we're just going to kind of be breaking it down with Erin.
Yeah.
And like doing some myth busting about the 12 steps. So first of all, thank you, Erin, for being here with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. I'm really excited to get into this with you. So just from your perspective, what is the purpose of this step?
Of step one? The purpose of step one is basically admittance, coming to that realization that your life is unmanageable. And the thing is like admitting it seems so easy, but it's not. We talk ourselves into believing that we're okay for a long time. So, in essence, it's like, oh, okay, coming to this, realization that, and admitting that we're powerless seems like it's so easy, but it's really not, and admitting it to others, is hard, but admitting it to ourselves is what the hard part was for me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to the conclusion that I can't manage anything anymore, that everything has become chaotic, letting go of that justification, that denial. That was the hardest part for me, as it is for most addicts, is just that pride and ego, like, okay, I don't have this under control, things are not okay, and I have to seek help.
Mm-hmm.
Just that in itself is difficult for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's quite a difference between like saying something and doing it.
Yeah.
And I think like that's why they talk so much about like working the steps.
Right.
It's
exactly.
not a matter of just reading through them.
Yeah. No, it's living it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what does unmanageable mean to you?
Manageable to me was, daily life things that we all do, waking up on time, getting to work on time, paying bills. Taking care of your loved ones. Like I have a 2-year-old, for instance. Like it's just those daily activities, even just the minuscule things, I wasn't able to complete.
Mm-hmm.
And that was completely, my life at that point was completely unmanageable. I didn't have a job to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Like debt. Not being able to make family functions, not even being able to go on vacation if I wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
like going to the bowling alley with friends is like a huge ordeal, like it's unmanageability at its finest is just all those things that you're trying to juggle at one time and not doing it successfully,
Mm-hmm.
It was completely unmanageable. Yeah.
Okay, so what are some tips that you have for completing this step?
The first step, get honest. Get honest with yourself and with the people that you love that are, that are in your life. Because before you can start any of this, you really have to get honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So some tips for step one would definitely be honesty. Willingness is huge. You really have to be willing, like you said. You can say the steps all you want. You can repeat them and you can know them by heart, but if you're not willing to do what's necessary to change your life, then it's pointless. Yeah.
So what are some of the most common myths that you've heard about this step?
Hitting rock bottom, definitely. A lot of people say, yeah, like, you're not ready until you hit rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
That's completely untrue. Me, for instance, I didn't, let's just say I wasn't willing to accept that my life had become unmanageable until my daughter was removed. you know? So it's like everyone has their point where they're ready, you know? And you don't necessarily have to hit rock bottom being homeless on the streets with nowhere to go, you know? Everyone's going to have their breaking point. Everyone's going to have that time in their life when it's just not worth it anymore, you know? And I mean, that can be at any level, you know, at any point in our lives. You don't have to be at rock bottom, you know, to realize that you're ready.
And rock bottom can be like something, like you said, like your daughter being taken away, or it could be something, you know, even just a light bulb moment where you're like, okay, like nothing dramatic has happened, but I can make a change in my life.
If you're waiting for that moment of like, oh my God, I have to, you know, that's never going to come. Like as addicts, like we are very resourceful and we can figure out anything and always, you know, get through it. And so it's like, if you're waiting for that moment of like, okay, I just, this is it. Like, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? You have to really want it. You have to really want it, because it's a lot of work. Even today, you know, I actually had a year clean on the 4th of April. And
congrats.
thank you. And
awesome.
Even now, it's a daily. This is a living program. You know, when I first started this, I thought I was going to be able to go into treatment, do my 12 steps, and I'm cured. You know, and it's not like this is every day you have to work this, and it works though. You know, so it's like the 12 steps are never ending. It's a constant cycle, and learning new things about yourself. So hitting rock bottom is definitely a myth.
What would you say for people who are, you know, kind of maybe not necessarily
On the fence?
What's that?
On the fence?
They're on the fence, or they're like not necessarily religious and they're kind of apprehensive about.
Oh, that was me.
That was you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't necessarily have anything against religion. My mom never took me to church. I just don't really know about it. And so because of that lack, I initially saw the 12 steps and saw God, and I was like, oh no. Subconsciously I was like, no. And then when I went through I had tried numerous times to get clean in the past, you know, doing enough jail time, you know, staying abstinent long enough to where I felt comfortable in being able to you know, sustain that for the rest of my life. And you know, that goes along with the surrendering, you know, and we'll get to that. But you know, that control, like I can do this. If I'm strong enough, I can do this on my own. So basically, you know, in doing that, I realized that I need to work on this, you know, and that whole God aspect of it was hard for me, but it's not, I don't look at it like a religious God. It's not. And nowhere does it say in the 12 steps that, you know, it's a religious program. You know, God would be your higher power. It's just another way of saying it. Instead of saying higher power, it's like, that's what that is. You know, it's your higher power. It's your God. You know, it's not like a Bible God. And, you know, what someone said to me was just, what characteristics do you want in a best friend? You know, you want honesty. You want someone to be loyal. You want someone to be caring and understanding, trustworthy, you know? And when I think of my higher power, I call her she. So when I think of her, those are the things, those are the qualities that, you know, I have in her. And that's who I go to, you know, because the decisions that I've made in my life, the choices that I've made, for the most part have not been good. So I don't rely on myself and my self-will. I rely on hers, you know, and I give it up to her. So if anyone is listening out there and doesn't want to do this because of religious or lack of religion, then you know now that it's not.
That's so awesome. I love how you said that your higher power is a girl.
Yeah, it is. Because everyone always says he, and I'm just like,
what is this?
What do you mean? Why?
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So you mentioned surrender.
Yeah.
So what does that mean to you?
Surrendering is key. Surrendering is just giving up. And not in the sense of like, I give up, but in the sense of like, please, I can't do this anymore, and I am willing to do whatever it takes to achieve sobriety. You know, it's that kind of surrender. We, in general, you know, addicts and non-addicts, we tend to look for the solution in ourselves. Of like, I can do this, and if I can't, then I'm weak, and that's not it at all. You know, you really have to give up the control, you know, in order to be free. So, yeah, surrendering is basically, to me, that's what it was. It was allowing myself to just let it go, you know, let it go, let your higher power step up, you know, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Stop trying to control everything and make everything happen by my own self-will, because that's just not going to happen. So yeah, surrendering is, in my opinion, is just not necessarily, you know, giving up in that sense. It's just letting go of all these false beliefs that we have.
That's so cool.
Your face, I love it.
But yeah, I guess, what about powerlessness? Because I feel like a lot of people get tripped up on that term.
Yeah, same concept, you know. I'm powerless. Initially, that goes to I'm weak. You know, I'm not strong enough. And that's just what we're ingrained with our entire lives, is like this, you're weak, so you're powerless, you know. And it's like, in order to give up power and control, you have to be a really, really strong person, you know. So it's kind of like the adverse effect. You know, in order for me to finally get this thing, I had to completely accept the fact that the solution wasn't in me, you know. And for most people, that's difficult, you know. We have a control issue in general, you know. And so even just to say, like, I can't do this on my own is hard, you know, but it was completely necessary.
Yeah, no, I mean, nobody that I've ever spoken to has said, like, oh yeah, I got sober all on my own.
Right.
Nobody helped me.
Right, exactly.
There was somebody there, like one other person at least, that, you know, helped you through. And in
accepting
many cases,
help in general, that what you just said right there is hard.
Cool. Well, I have no more questions for you.
Right.
So we're going to wrap this up. We've been talking to Erin Hicks, who is a sober coach here at the Discovery House outpatient facility. Thank you, Erin, for being here. And you guys, we're going to post this video on our Facebook page. You can come back and grab all this awesome sobriety knowledge from Erin.
Bye.
Bye, Erin. Bye, everybody.